Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today I've come with part 2, guys. If you guys don't know, my last video was part 1 to story time of when I went to Global Esports Games Istanbul, which was like a couple weeks back for me. I told you guys I was going to do a part 2, so that's what I'm going to do now. A lot of you guys said, and I know why, but a lot of you guys actually said that part 1 was like really negative. I was saying a lot of negative stuff, and I know it sounded really negative, but I was just being honest. Like, I'm not gonna come in here and lie, you know. I was just being honest about like how the experience was. But that was only part 1. I told you guys there was gonna be part 2, and part 2 was gonna have a lot more like positive sides to it, and that's true. I actually have a couple notes of things I want to talk about. Also, bear in mind, most of what I'm gonna talk about is after the tournament, right? So part 1, if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out, was mainly about before the tournament and during the event. Now, after the event, there was still like a good couple days that we had left to stay in Turkey, so there were still things going on. So what I'm about to talk about is stuff that was happening mainly after the event had already taken place. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is the hotel. Right, the hotel was a 5-star hotel. I might have mentioned this in the previous part, but the hotel was a 5-star hotel. You know, they took very good care of us. It was huge. Now I want to talk about the size of it. I don't think I even saw the entire hotel the entire 5-6 days I was there. Like, that's how big it was. The entire event happened within the hotel. So we didn't have to leave to go to the venue. It happened within the hotel. We had our very own sections, with not one section. We had multiple different sections in the hotel, like on different floors and all sorts of things, where it was specifically for the players, right? So it was very well organized in terms of where to go. You know, we didn't have to wake up to go to a venue or anything. We ain't gotta worry about that. We sleep in the hotel, and the event is in the hotel, so no one really has to worry about being late for anything. That was sorry, that was already sorted out, right? So the fact that the event was in the hotel was really smart and just really good in general for the players. What we got next here? Oh yeah, number 2, free food. They sorted us out with food, which was actually great. We had a free buffet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's no one has to worry about playing. We ain't got to worry about playing on an empty stomach ever or anything like that. They sorted us out with food. I probably try and put a picture of I don't know, my plate, one of my plates or something on the screen during the video somewhere. But yeah, when it comes to food and stuff like that, we were taken care of. 5-star hotel, you would expect it as well. So it's yeah, no one had to really worry about any of that at all. Oh yeah, this is a big one. So this event, right? This might not apply to absolutely everyone, but it did apply to quite a lot of people. In terms of interviews and media, I did about maybe 12 interviews altogether that entire event. I did a lot of interviews, and it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. I say that to say this, in terms of publicity, it's a very good event to go to in general. You have a lot of people who do news articles and esports news and stuff like that that attend these events, and you might not know who they are, but they paid close attention to the scene, and they're waiting for players to just be there so they can interview them and put them in their news article, local news. Or I actually, after the event was finished, I was actually on Esports News UK. I think I'll put up a screenshot somewhere on the screen, but I was actually on Esports News UK after the event. And if I didn't go to that event, that wouldn't have happened. I've been to different events before that weren't Global Esports Games, and that didn't happen. But going to an event like this, you're able to sort of get a different sort of audience that you might not get in other tournaments, if that makes sense, right? But yeah, just to add a bit more on the media side, because this is a global event, some regions are a lot more represented than others, right? So if you're a region that doesn't get a good representation or enough representation, and then you happen to do these interviews or people want to speak to you, it's definitely good to sort of put your region out there or put your name on the map in general. Whether you placed well or whether you didn't perform well at the tournament, you can still speak your mind and say how you feel, and that in itself is a good thing. What else do I have at number 4? Different region. Oh yeah, number 4, I got just the regions in general. There's a different amount of regions. Like, I knew it was a global event, but when you actually go there and you got to play against regions that you didn't even know played the game. Like, when you have to play against like Jamaica, I'm like, okay, who's in Jamaica? Like, who actually plays in Jamaica? But there's people that actually play. They might not have many players, but there's people that actually play the game. So it's like when you actually go to these events and you come up against these regions, they had no clue actually had a theme or even wanted to play the game. It's like, damn, there's actually like a bigger world out there when it comes to like competition in general. Just because you don't see them all the time don't mean they don't exist. So that was kind of a cool aspect of like being in that tournament in general. Oh, lastly, we got to talk about this. Hold on now. We've got to talk about this one. Alright. Bro, this is like a story time within a story time. Alright, this final point. This last thing I'm about to say literally made my entire, it made my entire week at this event. This was my favorite thing that happened at this event, right? So what ended up happening? Let me try to remember real quick. Okay, so the tournament was over. I got second place, right? Game B got first place. I've now gone up to my room, right? So I'm chilling in my room. I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm just chilling in my room, right? Chilling for a good half an hour. I end up getting a message from one of my team members saying, "Oh, what are you doing right now?" I said, "I'm not doing anything. I'm chilling." So, okay, well, we've got someone here who's flown from England to Turkey to meet you. And I'm like, wait, what? What do you mean? And I said, yeah, someone's flown in from Turkey and really wants to meet you. Are you able to come down? So instantly, I was just like, yo, yeah, sure, I'll come down straight away. So, okay, put on my shoes or whatnot. I go down, and it's this little kid. Like, he's like maybe 8 years old. Literally, this little kid and his dad who came literally wanted to see me. Missed the entire tournament, right? Missed the entire tournament, so ended up having to watch Dota 2 or PUBG, which isn't what they originally came for. I think they wanted to like see Street Fighter and meet me, but they came, right, literally to meet me. That was one of the craziest experiences ever. I think I've got some video footage you guys will probably be seeing as I speak at the same time. But that was a crazy experience, right? So I ended up taking some pictures of him. I took off my medal, let him wear it for a little bit. It was just cool. Like, honestly, like, that was probably my first crazy, or like, I don't know how to explain this. It's like my first crazy encounter with like a supporter or like a big fan. Definitely like one of my first times. I had a lot of people in Turkey that like wanted to see me in general, but the fact that he flew from England all the way to Turkey for that was crazy. I ended up like signing a hat to give him like I signed the hat with my signature on it, gave it to him and everything. Like, I just had to make his day. He came to see me. I have to do something, right? So I ended up signing the hat, made his day. He was happy about it, took a picture and all sorts. But yeah, that after I finished doing that, I was just happy for the whole entire time. Like, that alone, that was ridiculous. That was actually amazing. Shout out to that kid, honestly. But yeah, that's gonna do it for part 2. I told you guys, look, what did I say? I know part 1 was very negative in a lot of aspects, but that's just how it started. And it wasn't a perfect event, but it wasn't bad either. There was a lot of good things about it. So part 2, this was a lot more positive. as you guys can see, you know, I had a good time overall. There was a lot of smiles, right? So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this part 2. Part 3, I have something planned. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at that. Part 3, I have something planned. It will be the final part. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you do like and subscribe if you're new. And without further ado,